good, YouTube? Quasar here, and with the recent release of Raging Tempest, I'm going to be bringing you guys my Ritual Beast deck profile with the new support coming from Raging Tempest. So just getting right into it, the brand new Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. So this is amazing because she counts as a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast. So level 4 allows it a lot of synergy with the actual beasts while also being a tamer. So she could be used as fusion material for either the spiritual beast or a tamer. And she has a really dope effect too. She's destroyed by opponent's card effect or by battle. You get to special summon any of your ritual beasts from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So that'll make your opponent fairly hesitant on actually destroying Winda. So I obviously wanted to play her at 3 because of the awesome synergy she has being either a tamer or a spiritual beast as well. And then your next go-to for tamers is obviously Elder. Still have to play it at 3, obviously. The best tamer, because you get to, once you normal summon it, you get an additional normal summon. So that has synergy with obviously like all of your spiritual beasts, allowing you to summon one of them. And you can instantly go into your contact fusions with whatever beast you bring out. Usually you are looking for Conahawk, still your best beast. But it's difficult to open them. You're just hoping to open like Elder and Conahawk. That's like the best for your starting hand. But anywho, still have to play this guy at 3. Next I'm playing Wen. I play 2 copies of her. I think she's still pretty decent. The fact that when you normal summon, you get to special summon one from Banished. Like you can still pull this off first turn pretty easily. You are playing things like Golden Sarcophagus, so it still allows you access into your other Ritual Beast fusions just by normal summoning it, bringing back one of you Banished. Definitely wouldn't play it at 3. I know some people prefer her at 1 just as a name, but I still think she's kind of decent, so playing her at 2 isn't so bad. And then my last tamer, I play 1 copy of Lara. She only specials from Grave, so she's not as good, but it's still something. It's still a name. I feel that, yeah, you still should play one of her, because at most late game, if you want, you can just drop her to bring something back and still continue your loops, Conahawk loops such as that. But yeah, one of her is just more than enough. So that's it for your tamers. Moving on to the actual beasts, though, we have 3 copies of Conahawk, obviously. So it's like your monster version of Golden Sarcophagus. Basically, yeah, same thing. You get to banish one, and then it gets added back to your hand the second standby phase afterwards. So starting off with this is really great because it kickstarts your combos. You want to be banishing off like your Rampangus, your Apelios, and even if you have to, you have your Petal Dolphin to banish as well. But opening this and Elder is ideal, but usually it's one or the other. I mean, it's kind of difficult, but that's why you obviously want to max out on both, right? So yeah, 3 copies of Conahawk. And I still do play 3 copies of Rampangu because it's probably the second best. I mean, it's not as good because you'd have to send from the extra deck 1 of your ritual beasts. And then you get to send from deck to grave the monster of the same typing. So for example, if you send the Alti Apelio, which is a Pyro, you'd obviously be sending the Apelio to the grave. So it has that kind of synergy. Again, it's not as good, but it'd probably be the second best next to your Conahawk. 2 copies of Apelio. Unfortunately, this isn't as good. I mean, yeah, it's 2017 now. 1800 attack is still decent. the effect to send one from your graveyard to the banish zone is very helpful actually. You do see that coming up a lot. I mean, the plus 500 attack and defense is always great, but it's not even about that. It's the ability to manipulate your graveyard and your banish zone, which is basically what Ritual Beasts do. And then lastly, you have the one copy of Petal Dolphin, probably the worst one. But, I mean, its effect does come up occasionally where you can just banish one from hand to return a target card your opponent controls back to their hand. So it does help sometimes remove some problematic stuff, but again, it's in here just as a name. And my last two monsters, I am playing obviously 2 Max C because it is the best hand trap of the format. So that's exactly 20 monsters. Moving on to the spells, we have the brand new Ritual Beast Return. I know the community is kind of split on this, but I think this is a great card actually. The fact that you get to banish one from hand to special summon another one that's banished or in the graveyard. So, I mean, it's kind of similar to Ambush, but the fact that it's a spell and you can just drop this right away. I mean, Ambush, yeah, you don't end up banishing anything as a cost, but this allows you to just kind of like cycle through your Ritual Beasts. So, I think it at 2 is all you need. And then one copy of Ritual Beast Bond. I think this card's really good. It helps for the OTK really quickly. I am playing 2 Alti Apelio. So if you basically drop both of them, attack with both of them, and then drop this and go into Gaia Apelio, that's well over your 8,000 to finish your opponent off. For like generic support, now that Sarcophagus is at 3, have to play it at 3 because it really kicks off your combos. It allows you to start banishing monsters that you need in your banish zone, so you can just start manipulating them and bringing them back out to loop Conahawk and then eventually get into like your Alti Apelio to get into your OTKs. I am playing the one copy of E-Tully. Wish it was at 3, but oh well, what can you do? Still have to play it. Brings out either Elder, Lara, or Wen. So kind of just depends on the situation, but it's a free basic tamer that you can grab from your deck, so that's always good. The 1D Fissure, this card's really great because it will shut down a lot of your opponent's graveyard plays. You know, things like Lawn Mowing Infernoid, they can't activate their Lawn Mowing because as soon as they do, everything's going to get banished rather than sent to the graveyard. So having this on board really stuns your opponent, and it doesn't stop you at all because you're just banishing as if, you know, you don't really care, which you don't. The one copy of Regeki just to nuke boards, and Twin Twisters just to clear back row because, you know, this deck usually you do want to go for the OTK, and if you run into something like Mirror Force, you're kind of crying. That's it for spells. We have 11 spells. Lastly, the traps. 3 copies of Steeds. Now, Steeds is really good because it pops your opponent's monsters and it doesn't target, so that's really good. No stupid shit that can't be targeted. It just kind of gets around that, and it clears your opponent's monsters, so you can really push for that OTK. And also, you're going with 2 copies of Ambush because this helps you special summon 2 either from Banished or Grave, or like 1 from each if you want to. So activating both of these in a chain is really good, because you'd want to activate Steed's Chainlink 1, obviously, and then Ambush's Chainlink 2. So you would summon your 2 monsters off of Ambush, and then you get an additional 2 pops because of Steeds. So it's basically knowing the order in which to activate your chain links, and you can clear boards really easily, and again, you're pushing for that OTK. 2 copies of Dimension Barrier. I opted to go with this over Solemn Strike. The fact that this is still chainable off of like Twin Twister targets, MST, that kind of stuff, is really amazing. Once you know what your opponent's playing, just call whatever, like Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum even. They're still shut out that turn for that summoning mechanic, and if they were to just hit like a Solemn Strike, you can't chain it because obviously they haven't summoned, so you're kind of shit out of luck there. But that's why we opted to go with D Barrier over the strikes. 1 copy of Macrocosmos, same thing with D Fissure. I mean, both cards are at 1, but you still want to play it because, again, a lot of decks are graveyard oriented, and then sending things, or things that would be sent to the graveyard being banished instead is a lot helpful for you. So your opponent's kind of just sitting there trying to get rid of your Macrocosmos, and you're just banishing all of your shit still. That'll just pretty much stop your opponent in their tracks. And then the last card I went with is 1 copy of Solemn Warning, just because this kind of does still stop things that like Solemn Strike cannot. As in case you see something like the Soul Charge, even let's say Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, like stupid shit like that, you can Solemn Warning and it'll just stop their summon. Just the fact that it's a spell card versus like an actual inherit summon. So that's why I still opted for the 1 copy of Warning. That's it for the main deck. So moving on to the extra. Unfortunately, Konahawk is still at 1. I don't even know why, but you know, this card is pretty stupid how you can just loop it, and the rulings on this card are pretty nuts too, because you activate its first effect by sending 2 of your banished ritual beasts to the graveyard in order to search a card. You can then chain its defusion ability to special summon 2 ritual beasts that are banished. So if you end up, like, say, banish 2, if you have 3 banished monsters, for example, banish, or you send 2 of them to the graveyard and then you chain its second effect, you can then summon 1 that was targeted to send to the graveyard and just special summon that along with the one that wasn't targeted. Because 1 was still sent to the graveyard, you still get its effect where you can search. So basically you will still have 2 on board, and then you can banish them again, bring it back, and then you can just continue on like a certain loop like that for however many monsters you have banished, essentially. As long as you don't summon the same monster multiple times, because unfortunately the ritual beasts do have that clause where you cannot special summon it more than once. Which, yeah, it does kind of suck, but the fact that you're still able to pull something like that off is really cool. Went with like 2 of all the other just ulti ritual beasts. Apelio's really good, helps with the OTKs obviously, because when you attack, this card is unaffected by all of your opponent's card effects, so your opponent won't be able to activate their effects in order to affect this. If they wanted to, they could do something to affect their own monsters, say like switch them to defense, for example. But like a Book of Moon wouldn't work. Mirror Force wouldn't work. So that's why I think this card's really great. At 2600 attack too, pretty decent. And if you use Apelia's effect, it actually goes up to 31, so it can ram over a lot of different things, including Blue Eyes, which is really, really good there. 2 copies of Petalfin. So this one you basically just want to bring out if you kind of need to stall. Can't be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, so that part's really good. 2800 defense, so not a lot can run over it. If you are kind of in a jam, just bring Petal Dolphin out in defense mode and kind of just sit on her and see if you can draw into some of your combo pieces, and then you can always just defusion her and continue on your combos. And then my last fusion, I'm playing 1 copy of Ulti Gaia Pelio. Usually you are bringing it out with like either Winda or your what was the name of that card? The Ritual Beast Bond. I mean, you do have some times like the ability to actually contact fusion it, where you do also get its ability where you can negate a monster effect, a spell, or trap card just by banishing 1 Ritual Beast from your hand. So that part's really good, but just the fact that it's a 32 beater is really amazing, and you'd want to just bring it out and just push for more damage. So that's it for the Ritual Beast fusions. Now the rest are just your basic rank 4s. So I'm playing like 1 copy of Lightning Chidori because all of your beasts, or actually like everything, is wind, so really easy to go into. 1 copy of Dark Rebellion Xyz. I don't know why more people aren't playing this card. This card is actually like pretty broken. The fact that you can absorb half of a monster's attack, and then if you attack into it, you instantly deal 2500, and this guy will be like permanently pumped up by whatever you targeted. I mean, yeah, the fact that it does target may be a reason that people kind of turn away from it, but I think it's still an amazing rank 4. 1 copy of 101, absorbs monsters. So I don't know, kind of similar, just the fact that you can either deal like 25 here, or if that's like an only monster, you can just absorb it and then attack directly for 21, something like that. I mean, it helps too that 101 you can also detach if it were to be destroyed, so that part's kind of good too. 1 copy of Castell just to bounce stuff back. Abyss Dweller is actually really good too, because things that activate in the graveyard, you can just chain this effect and then negate. So I know shit like Cubics want to banish their karma. You just chain your Abyss Dweller and then just shut that effect down. So really good there. Gagaga for game. Who doesn't love the 800 burn? And then lastly, the Utopia package. Again, I'm playing Ray just so you have access into Lightning's effect twice rather than just going Utopia into Lightning, so you can only detach 2 to activate its effect once. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.